everybody. Happy Friday, beginning of June. That means we are almost halfway through this year, which I don't even understand how that's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's going on anymore. But it's so great to be here. As y'all know, I come at the top of the month with another amazing guest from my incredible network of thought leaders, experts in their respective fields. And Vince is one of those people. He is somebody that I got introduced to from my Microsoft partner days. And I felt like we needed to have a discussion on the power of the partner ecosystem, what's happening in technology, and how all of us really need to keep our eyes open as business owners, as marketers. And there's nobody better than Vince and what he's doing with creating the ultimate partner experience, which he's going to get into. So with that, if you're watching, listening, give us some likes, give us some comments. We'll be in there answering questions that come along afterwards. So definitely tell us where you're watching or listening in from, even if you watch it a couple days later. Vince.
Rachel, so good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for that very kind intro. Excited to be here. Like we're old friends going back to the old days of Microsoft and that pedigree. And to your point, like a lot of people haven't really been focusing in here. They have a point of view. I've been talking about these tectonic shifts we've been seeing, and I think they really started to accelerate during COVID. Satya Nadella talked about 7 years of transformation in 7 months. We saw our lives change radically, right? The way we educate, healthcare, the way we shop, the 3 clicks and the box shows up on my phone. But life really changed in a dramatic way. And that also accelerated some technology transformations and also how business operates today. Even buying behaviors got changed. And of course, LinkedIn even became a bigger thing, right? Like I came to you and said, help me. You were helping me as an entrepreneur figure out LinkedIn, and you and Josh have been so totally supportive of me and really helped me grow my business. But what we really started to see is, remember back in the day when we were in Microsoft, we were just down this cloud journey. Well, it really has accelerated. I think it really accelerated more the last few years during this time, where now the big 3, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, are having big conversations with the largest enterprises and even into smaller enterprises around cloud commitments. And so there's $1/3 trillion in cloud budgets, in durable cloud budgets that customers own with these 3 hyperscalers. It's created a new opportunity for organizations to partner. It's changed the dynamics of buying behavior of technology today, where, as a seller, you could walk into an account and maybe talk to the CTO or the CIO and walk out with a purchase order. This influence strategy is just so critical, and having a successful partnership or ecosystem strategy surrounding that customer is fundamental now to success. You can't do it alone any longer. So partnerships have become even more prevalent, more important than ever. Also, the changing in the selling process and the selling behavior. Remember the old days where we just, we built a modern marketing funnel, we used technology, we then had an SDR touch the account, and then we brought in a seller or closer to close the business. That no longer exists today. People aren't buying that way. The customer is making the decision the same way we make consumer decisions, right? When I bought my Jeep, I talked to like 5 or 6 people that had the same model to ask their opinion. Customers making the same type of very consumerization type buying behavior that we're starting to see in technology as well. And so that's why partnerships are just so critical to success.
And it's moving so fast. You can't do it alone. And there's no way that any of us know all the things that are out there. Every time I listen to you or read something, I'm like, whoa. I saw that the Microsoft release with Copilot now on the computer, and watched that quick video of playing Minecraft with the computer telling me what to do. And I thought to myself, I'm kind of scared about this. Like, whoa, this is happening.
It's happening in a big way. It's really happening in a big way. And that's the other piece of it too, right? So we talked about the 3 hyperscalers. I talked about the size of the budgets. Microsoft alone, and this is not including AWS and Google, they're spending $14 billion a quarter on building out data centers and chips. 14 billion a quarter. And then now you layer in AI, you layer in this relationship, this amazing relationship and partnership that Microsoft has with OpenAI. And the technology is really advancing. This latest release you mentioned, and this, I guess it's ChatGPT 4.0 for Omni, is now like, it's doing things that none of us even predicted would happen. Like it's crazy. It's taking inputs. It's recognizing facial expressions and intonations of voice. I mean, it's accelerating fast. It's a little scary.
It is. Okay. So actually, we're diving right in, which is amazing. And Vince, I want to back out for a second and actually talk about you and your lengthy career in tech. So, oh, look, and we got.
I love it. I love it.
The technology. Look, I want
I like the way you said lengthy, by the way. It made me feel younger than.
No, just a little bit. Okay. So, for a second, give us a little background of just your journey throughout your career and with technology. I think people just need to understand that we're talking to an OG here.
Thank you. Thank you. So I've described my career as at least 4 successful transformations. I started off in the early days of wireless computing before there was Wi-Fi, and I was selling that technology before it was prevalent. Helped the company grow from 6 million to 125 million. We went public on the Toronto Exchange. I went from carrying a bag to becoming a VP of sales and part of that transformation. And then I did a turnaround. I helped another organization of Golden Gate Capital that spun out. And this is where I got involved more in partnerships. There was partnering in everything I've done, but I was literally a seller who moved into leadership. I built a new business. I built a channel at this turnaround. We successfully exited the business. Golden Gate did 26 months after I built this successful business with a channel and new strategy, new market strategy. And then I joined Microsoft. I was actually recruited. Microsoft hired an outside recruiter and brought me into the organization to be the leader of the public sector partner business. So I ran a $4.6 billion business at Microsoft. I did the same job for 9 years, which is unheard of at Microsoft. But I was on the leadership team, and I got to know everybody in the room, which I think led to me being able to have so many amazing guests come on the Ultimate Guide to Partnering podcast. But I also understood how the tech giant worked in a big way. And I saw what partners did right, and I saw where they failed. And I understand what levers to press, and when partners were successful, what they did, and how to navigate the tech giant. So Ultimate Guide to Partnering was born. We were both podcasting back in the day when you were at Microsoft and I was doing Ultimate Guide to Partnering. I went back inside for 2 years. I went inside to a company that really needed $1 billion company that really needed to fix its partner strategy. I fixed that. But then during COVID, I was getting the itch again. And I realized that there was more I wanted to share. There was more that I felt like I needed to do before my career ended. And so I brought back the podcast. This was during COVID. And I was like, it was a great time to be podcasting and doing virtual. And then I realized my journey, like I realized that we needed to do events. We've actually, Ultimate Partners become more of which is the company now. It's become more of an education company because we have a podcast that's always on. We have over 220 episodes. We're doing streams on YouTube, as well as we're mixing in social and doing a lot of neat things there. And then we have events. We have this event that we just did in Boca Raton, which was an amazingly successful event. And we live stream that. And then we've done live, bigger in-person events and other digital events. And we're continuing to do that. And that's augmenting with kind of the education and advisory work that I do, helping clients directly. So I've been called an OG before. I guess part of it's just because I've been around this. I understand this transformational journey and why it's continuing and why it's accelerated. And my mission is to help others. It's to be a bold inspiration, share this vision of what I see to help others transform and to leave a legacy through that process. So that's a little bit more about me. I mean, we can go into the personal side and my personal transformation, and there's a lot there.
I mean, I thank you for sharing. I'm really curious. What do you think? So just so in case you're watching and you're like, what exactly does partner mean? There's these huge companies, like he mentioned, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, pretty much, that they can't get to the scale that they have without a whole bunch of other businesses that are using their software and tools to grow and create new products on top of. Like at like the that's my like simplistic way of explaining it.
That's a good way
Right?
to do it.
That's it. And that's a world in which Vince is helping lead, because Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they can't do it without the partners. And there's, as he mentioned, there's half a trillion,
Yeah.
bajillions of dollars, really. If
Yeah.
like, it's kind of like play money that's out there. But it's really hard for a company to figure out, how do I work with Microsoft, Google, or Amazon?
Yeah.
What kind of partners should I want to go to market with? So can you talk a little bit about, from your years of experience, where
Absolutely.
you're seeing the big pain points, and where people, maybe if they're thinking about this, they can think differently?
Absolutely. So I have a set of operating principles around what makes successful partnering. I've identified through all these, 220 podcast episodes, all the years of experience being in the room or being across the table with other leaders. And so we talk about that. We highlight that, like what success looks like, but we also talk about like the dysfunctions, the 4 dysfunctions of partnerships. And so we try to expose so people understand like where they are in the journey. Like, okay, I'm doing these things right. I'm not doing these other things. And that's why we built the community, because it was great to just broadcast through a podcast and provide this information, but it wasn't a two-way dialogue. And we wanted to get to that two-way dialogue. And I didn't scale, candidly. Like working one-on-one with clients is fun and it's great, but it doesn't help me get to a lot of the organizations. So we built this ultimate partner experience. I've enlisted, I would say, lack of a better term here, other ambassadors, people that I know are subject matter experts in certain areas, to be part of this experience. And now we're creating this rich forum where you can come in the room and you can be part of the discourse and you can learn how to be successful partnering. And there's a set of principles that we apply, and their tactics and things. And some of it's situational. There's over 500,000 companies in this ecosystem that we talk about, that Microsoft, Google, and Amazon all care about. Microsoft started it. We called it the Microsoft Partner Network years ago. And then Google and Amazon started to say, hey, we want to partner with these same organizations. So we try to help enrich those organizations, share experience of what made success. We spotlight partners that have been award-winning partners so that you can see like, what did they do differently? How did they accomplish their goals? And we try to create the environment where everyone could reach their ultimate outcome. And my mission is to help every organization, every individual organization and partner, to achieve their greatest results through successful partnering. And that's where I want to see, like, these last several years of my career, I've committed the next 10 years to doing this. And that's where I'm focused in on. I mean, it's just like, and it's my love, because I know that we're going to get there, that partnering is so important. Like, we can't think of the old world of selling any longer. We have to think about, like, how do we work more holistically in this ecosystem approach?
Ooh, so you're saying stop selling, start connecting,
Absolutely.
or start partnering?
I was, not only was I a top seller back in the early part of my career, but I took fundamental sales training, like strategy training. And there was this process called Miller-Hyman back in the day. And it was all about like understanding all of the buying influences and touching all the bases and making sure that you understood that, like, not one person's making, or maybe not even one committee is making that decision. Understanding all the people influencing that buying behavior and surrounding that and building an influence strategy with each of those sellers. Today, we talk about, like, in modern selling and technology, there's probably, we talked about buying that Jeep. There's probably about 6 to 8 seats at the table that technologist, that person making that decision, is looking to help them make their decision. So you've got to build your influence strategy. And this is where, modern marketing and LinkedIn and understanding how to leverage the amazing tools that we have at our disposal is so important. You need to build your influence strategy across everyone in that ecosystem surrounding that customer.
It's so interesting. So if you're saying, let's say 10 people are there to make a decision around which technology to use, what do those personas look like now?
Well, it's conditional on what the customer is doing, right? So here I am, maybe I'm in the line of business and I'm trying to solve for a solution area. Let's say, let's call it backup and recovery, but it's really bigger than that. It's more about like I'm dealing with threats, security threats, and things like that. And I need to have a posture on protecting my environment, but also just dealing with the fact that if everything goes down or I have a ransomware attack, I know how to deal with it. And I can bring my systems back up. So just take that as a simple application. You might have a ISV, that or independent software vendor, that does backup and recovery software. You might have a security suite. There might be multiple partners involved in the security suite solution. You might be working with a reseller that you feel comfortable with, that you've been buying your technology through, that might also be part of the process. You might have a systems integrator that's doing all the stitching of the technology together for your enterprise. And you might also have a managed service provider that is helping with the support and the help desk after the fact, right? So after, who's keeping the lights on for your technology. So you might be working with all of those vendors. And I, as a seller, maybe trying to sell that backup and recovery software, I need to figure out who all those other people are. And I need to develop an influence strategy with each of them.
Mm. Which is why your online presence is so powerful, right?
So powerful. And as you know, I mean, you teach this. People treat LinkedIn like it's like, I don't know, they don't understand the power of LinkedIn and how being in the room and being present and building your presence through LinkedIn is just so critical to your success.
Yeah. I think that's a big piece of it, is how do you have a presence when you're not actually present?
Yes.
It's like the feed that's always happening now in people's brains that they're not even conscious of.
Yeah.
Because we know everyone's on their phones. We know everybody's consuming when they're watching their Netflix. We know when people are hopping onto Facebook for a second, this. Like, you don't want to work with me now, but you remember seeing this post that Rachel did. Oh, she has like a baby girl, right? It's this subconscious that presence will pay off in the long term, because we know that the B2B sales cycle is now minimum 6 months to a year.
Yes. And, you talk about that, using LinkedIn and doing all those things. It's not only during the week any longer, right? I mean, it's like there was this conventional wisdom that you didn't post on the weekends. Some of my best posts are on the weekends because people, like you said, you're watching TV and you're looking at your LinkedIn profile. You're looking at your feed all the time. And you're doing that on the weekends and holidays too.
Totally. So what are you most excited about, and maybe not so excited about? Like, where is kind of the biggest challenges? Because there are a lot in 2024. I feel like it, the economic uncertainty, politics, war, there's all these big macroeconomic things happening. And we're all still trudging along with our businesses and our families and lives. So, like, from your conversations and what you're seeing, those challenges, those sort of headwinds that we need to be aware of, but then how do we kind of offset them a bit?
Yeah. So I refer to it as tectonic shifts, right? We have been seeing this for quite some time, and it started before COVID, but COVID was like, wow, this big shift. And what also happened at COVID was there was a big, we leaned in hard on technology, right? Organizations bought new PCs with good cameras, and because everybody was working remote. And then there was a little bit of a pullback that happened. So we've seen some economic headwinds. Last year, over 500,000 technology professionals were laid off. Our old company, Microsoft, did a massive layoff. I think they're still feeling some of the reel from that. So there's that happening. There's two regional wars, which have global impact, by the way. And then we have the election that's going on, the uncertainty there. So there's all this uncertainty that's happening. And then let's layer on top of it the economic pieces that we have had high interest rates and trying to navigate so the economy stays strong and all through that. So we have all that happening. I'm still bullish, though. I'm still bullish on where we're headed. I do think that technology I'm excited about where technology is headed. We talked about AI a little bit. I'm actually surprised at how fast it's happening. I had somebody ask me today. They're like, "Is this just like is it just a toy? Is AI just a toy?" I'm like, "No, it's going to get infused in everything. It's going to get infused in all the business applications, all the consumer applications. It's going to get infused in every aspect of our lives. It's almost like where we were with the internet back in the late 90s when the internet finally started to take off in a big way. I feel like that's where we are. We're just at the precipice, the beginning stages of this journey. And I think it's exciting. I think if you're in the space that I'm in and you're in, I think it's an exciting time. I think you need to listen well. I think you need to really pay attention to what's going on. And we all need to be reactive or responsive to that and shift our businesses accordingly to take advantage of the opportunity. Because I think there's still a huge amount of opportunity.
Yeah. What do you think are, like, when you're talking to partners? Of course, I know it depends on industry and what they're doing, but when you say there's some things that make a successful partner, right?
Yeah.
Like these, like things that don't ever go out of style.
Yeah. I still find, remember I went back after I left Microsoft, I started the podcast. I went back inside $1 billion company that said that they really got partnering and they wanted me to come fix their partner strategy. And what I found when I got inside is like there's a lot of stuff to fix internally in a lot of these organizations, whether they be big tech companies or smaller tech companies. I find it across many of them that internally they're not fully aligned to their partnering strategy. So I feel like there's I break out my set of principles into the internal victory and then the partnership victory. The internal victory is the organization's got to get its mindset right. It needs to understand and trust in partners. It needs to build a partner first or partner assisted business model, where a lot of organizations today are still just direct selling. And they're still trying to stuff the old, like they're trying to put that square peg in the round hole kind of thing. It doesn't work anymore. And there's some old chief revenue officers out there that need to get the religion around partnerships. Like, this is the way you need to go forward. This is the way to future success. So you got to get your internal side right. And then on the other side, you need to really develop a model that's truly trusting, mutual trust with the other organizations you're partnering with. Like, it can't just be lip service. It can't be transactional. It's got to be a true partnership. And then when you get to the other side, you have to treat your partner as if they were your best customer. And a lot of organizations, like when they partner with Microsoft, you always hear this like, well, they're not giving us any leads. I don't understand why I'm partnering with Microsoft. That's not the reason why you partner with Microsoft. You partner with Microsoft because if you do it right, you do it successfully, you build a brand, and you use LinkedIn here too, by the way, to tell your success stories. You build a brand and a story around, and our mutual friend, Dux Raymond Sy, he's a perfect example of somebody who's understood how to build brand and story to help a company grow exponentially, right? AvePoint is knocking the cover off the ball. They're doing so well, but you need to get that right. And then you need to go and continually brand with the tech giant, with the sellers in the tech giant, and they will bring you into the right opportunities. They will assist you. They won't sell on your behalf. They may not even give you leads so much, but they will help you. And they'll help you because there's a mutual way that they're going to be successful there as well.
Yeah. I think that's really sound advice. And the internal piece, I can't really stress enough that that's actually, you're 100% correct, that is so often the challenge.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of creating, what I'm hearing you say, of creating clarity, creating a mindset that we're actually, I remember Gabriella saying this, co-opetition, right? It's not competition. It's about co-opetition. And really true. It's like 1 + 1 = 3, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that is really true, especially in the tech world. Like, there's plenty to go around for, and there's just so much happening, that mentality of partnership first, which is why I'm, I just want to shout out to Vince. I am a brand ambassador, part of the Ultimate Partner Experience. And I am selective in the time that I spend, the organizations that I want to be around, the people, but I have put my time and money into his community because I really do believe in what the power of partnerships is about, and the ecosystem in technology and with these hyperscalers. I mean, this is just the Fortune 5 are tech companies. Like, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
So, check out Vince's podcasts. They're, I mean, bountiful amount of, I was listening one while I got my nails done, actually. Which might be kind of dorky for some people, but but yeah, like, it really is educational, starting with his podcast, easily on your Apple device or wherever you listen, Spotify, right? It's everywhere. But
YouTube as well. We just started up our YouTube channel, and we're doing, as you know, we're doing full video now. We went from audio only.
I love that.
We've up leveled the game with the studio, and we've had so many amazing guests. It's been great.
You really have. You really have. I think it's just a world that people need to explore. And he's talking to the best of the best in the industry. So I think that's really cool. So I just want to shout out to that.
Thank you.
As we close out here, Vince, how can people, I mean, I just kind of talked a little bit about this, but how do you want people to keep in touch with you? Yep. And what do you want to say is that big takeaway? We're coming in at 2024 here. The next 6 months, what's a kind of your good piece of advice if you're listening today or watching?
So LinkedIn is a great way to reach me. I'm on LinkedIn all day or various times during the day. So DM me on LinkedIn for sure. There's also a link there to come to our website. You can watch podcasts, watch and listen to podcasts there, or find out about all the podcasts. Links to our events. We'll have another event coming up again in the fall. You can join our community. You can participate. You could spend time with Rachel. I mean, I love having you. You're such a bright spark in our ecosystem. I'm so excited to have you part of it. And there's other amazing content up there as well. You can learn more about Ultimate Partner for sure. The next 6 months, I can't believe we're at the midpoint. I can't believe how fast this year is flying by. I think it's time to lean in for organizations in a big way. Understand partnership strategy. If you don't, we've got a lot of great content. If you are a partner today and you're looking to do more and accelerate your success, that's our mission. That's our goal. That's what I live for. And that's what the ambassadors in our community I've pulled together. Rachel's amongst other amazing leaders, ambassadors. And I'm very, like Rachel is, I'm also like, not everybody's an ambassador. Like it's a process. And I've got the best of the best in the business. I call them the dream team because they literally are that. Like they're the swarm that you need to grow your business. So come join us. You'll learn more than you'll learn to grow your business more faster than you had hoped to. So come join us and we have joinupx.com is our other handle for joining the community.
Yeah, we'll put all that in the comments. Yep. Amazing. Well, Vince, thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Thank you.
Always amazing. Y'all, please say what's up to Vince. Check out the Ultimate Partner Experience, or reach out to me if it's something you're interested in. I could share my experience. And with that, have a great June, and I will see you for another great interview next month.
Thank you, Rachel.